Hello, everyone. My name's Aya. I'm a feminine mystic. Um, I'm just here to have a conversation with you guys about the very exciting things that I see going on in society and the riveting conversations we're all having, whether they be polarizing, real, uh, full of shit, whatever. I welcome uh conversation on both ends. That's how you find the middle ground. And I like that everyone has their voice, even if it hurts people's feelings and if people don't like it. I like when people reveal what's going on in their psyche, in their subconscious mind. Um because there will be a lot of people that can relate to that. You know, some of the most interesting polarizing things that people say, and then you see how many millions of people flock and agree. You'd be like, really, really, y'all. You know, I love when the veil is lifted, and when something that we've all been holding up collectively off of an ideal comes to an end, because it gives us an opportunity to ascend. I love the work that a lot of us earth angels have been doing. I believe that it's because of us that all of this is being uncovered. We've been asking and longing for a new world. We've been working on ourselves. We've been healing. And how do you think that's going to come about? It's going to be an ugly process. The same way it's an ugly process when you heal on your own, like by yourself in your closet, in your room every day. You know, when you let go of your karmic family relationships, it's not a pretty inner process after that, because you're having to let go of this, or mourn and grieve the loss of something that you thought you had that never existed in the first place. It reminds me of some of the verses in Course in Miracles where it talks about special relationships, right? And how special relationships are an illusion, like mother, daughter, father, brother, sister, cousin, lover, husband, wife, girlfriend, like all of these special relationships we uphold in order to make sure that we get love are an illusion, because you are love and you don't need anything on the outside to be anything for you in order for you to be what you are. And if that's the only way that love exists for you, then you're going to be in a world of hurt, because it's going to come to an end. And that's why the patriarchy lied to all of us. We were all gooped into thinking that we're going to get our most fanatical dreams come true, have our most fanatical dreams come true. Like for men, they use the promise, the patriarchy uses the promise of this beautiful woman that's factory made, basically, because the woman that they market, the women that they market to be the perfect woman, looks a certain way. And so then all of the women, because we're promised a man that's going to love us until the day we die or whatever, like this perfect love, to where we feel this like dopamine hit, this strong dopamine this strong dopamine hit till the day we die, like how it feels when you like fall in love with someone. It's amazing, don't get me wrong, like falling in love is the shit. It's the bomb or whatever. And it also feels just like a bomb when the bomb goes off, when after you have sex, because what sex does, it removes the veil. because sex is a tool of alchemy. Okay, so sex is like, okay, we're about to create something, and what is it we're about to create? Whatever's in y'all's mind. So sex is a energetic. It's supposed to be used as a energetic fire, a tool, some type of tool, energetic tool to move from one thing to the other. Okay? And so if two people get together and they have a lot of nothingness, a lot of ignorance going on, that's what's going to be revealed, and you're supposed to transmute that. But you see, most relationships can't contain that process, that shadow side being revealed, and that's where it begins and it ends. It's supposed to be where it begins. You know, after the veil, after you have sex with somebody and the veil is lifted and you can see who someone really is. Oh, now I see who you really are. Now I see who you really are. You know, you're not supposed to lose respect for that person or be disgusted by that person because you're seeing a mirror. You're supposed to be able to have the tools to understand what you're seeing, what you're looking at, and what to do with it. It says my device is too hot. I guess the summer too hot, better bubble up, and it's too hot, better couple up. I guess I gotta move my phone to a more. Baby, this phone can't stand the rain, the sun, nothing. Baby, please. Although I love this phone. I don't want to speak out against you, phone, because I don't want you to malfunction on me. I'm just saying. I've been talking for not even 10 minutes. Holy smokes. What am I supposed to, where you want to be inside? I guess I gotta, but I like the sun. Whenever I sit in the sun, I get like my thoughts come together because I was laying down thinking about all of this and I started recording while I was laying down and I was like, nah. And then I was like, well, it'll come to me. And as soon as I sat down outside and the thoughts would just, they bobulated into the right sequences. And I was like, there it is. So maybe I'll sit with my back to the sun. Let me see. So now y'all got the sun in y'all eye. You don't wanna dance, cause you really can't dance. All you do really wanna get nasty. All right. What was I saying? Yeah. So yeah, everybody's been lied to, and women have been fed this fantasy of love because women have a womb and we're nurturing beings, and our nature is to love. It's in our nature because that's what keeps everything alive. Like, we couldn't be complete brutes, beastly, you know, because if we were, all the children would die. You know, we would eat our children or whatever, I don't know. And it would be just a nasty plight of a situation. What's best? Help me out. F it. I'm inside. Okay. And so a woman's nature is to so you sell her a dream of that she's going to be loved because that's our inner script anyway. They sell a man a dream that they're going to have their sexual fantasies met. That's their inner script, naturally, um, to be obsessed with whatever's at their base natures. That's their survival mechanism. Okay. Um, these two natures don't necessarily like go together naturally, and there is some evolution and growth that needs to happen for both parties. If there is to be coexistence, but these natures aren't to necessarily be hated. They are to be acknowledged, you know, and then you act practically, but the patriarchy in its script would have it as so like this is going to be a fantasy and a blissful union that each party gets what they want. And when each party says I want this and I want this, and the other party says I want this and I want this, both can't really live up to each other's high ideals. Like this is how I look in the morning. It is what it is. Like and if a man can't like be okay with that, it's nothing I can do about it. And I'm not gonna like sit around and bitch and moan and cry and call my friends and be like, he don't love me, and go get plastic surgery and do cartwheels and flips and then run back to him. Do you love me now? Like, no. I love myself. I like myself. That's my responsibility first. That's my biggest job in life, is to love the hand I was given in life in general. Like it is what it is. Like nature, like who you are. There are some things that can change, but they can only change if you want to change them. None of us can make the other change, but it is good to know each other's nature. And then what happens and what you're looking at when you're put in unnatural environments, situations, or being asked to do things that are unnatural to you, and being pushed beyond your boundaries, to try to uphold something that's not even real. And most people don't understand spirituality in the first place, maybe beyond religion and even esoteric knowledge and definition. But spirituality is an experience. That's why meditation is important. Like you have to experience God for yourself. Like you can't have a relationship with God through me, through my words, even through the screen, or even through conversation, not even through a healing session with me. I can just point you in the right direction, and the direction I'm always going to point you in is inward, to be silent. Shh, quiet your mind, still your body, and be still and know that I am God. And see, that's why I'm excited about these times, because if you were ever looking for your soul tribe, you are ever looking to be on your path and find other people on their path, people are being forced on their path, because you can't really deny that society is having a nervous breakdown. And where's everybody going within? And you find in you, because that is your only support. Another human being can't save you from the hell of idolizing things on the outside of you. We can't save each other from the agony that we all experience when we feel separate from our divine source. And that's what's been happening for a long time. People have been using this love story thing to escape the inner work that they are supposed to be doing. Everyone says they want a better life, and they put it on creating community and family in order to do that. But the way that we go about creating community and family, and from a Western philosophical standpoint, isn't really true to anyone's nature. It isn't true to what's really going on the inside of a human being. And we see that show up in the failure, quote unquote failure, of something that really was never real in the first place, because no one's coming to the table being their actual real selves, because apparently nobody wants that. And that's the problem right there. Everyone's been brainwashed into playing a role so that they can get something that they already are. Okay? If the higher power, God is, love is a higher intelligence, a silent higher intelligence. Love is an intelligence. It's not a feeling, and it's not a destination even. It's not something you have to try to get. It's in everything. So you don't have to go searching for it, and you don't need it. You already are it. The kingdom of heaven is within you. What does the Course of Miracles say? The kingdom of heaven is you. That's a game. Like when I read that, I was like, ooh, bars. Bars. That's something to meditate on. You know what else I've been meditating on lately is the words I and am. And what those downloads you get when you meditate on what is I? What does God mean as I and then am? And I'll take phrases like let there be light, like let, what's let? You know what I'm saying? You have to embody these energies in order to be at that 0 point neutrality frequency where when you and God is like here and you got the stink face, you're like that's really the sweet spot of life. That's what being in love means. You're embodying what you are. You're experiencing yourself as what you are, and you're not looking outward. That's so dumb. That's why they call that ignorance. Ignorance in the dark. You're in the dark. You're in the dark because you're searching. You're not closer. You know that game we used to play as little kids, hot or cold. You blindfold yourself. You blindfold yourself and you go cold. Like the whole class. We used to play this, I think maybe in preschool or kindergarten, because I'm starting to get flashbacks. Cold, 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 cold. You be like, well, damn. And that's how a lot of y'all feel. If you're honest, it's like now, poor girlies, I know how y'all are because I've worked with you guys for a long time now, maybe almost 10 years. You know, you guys have been, and I'm thankful, been coming to me for healing sessions and readings and all of this. Some of y'all really don't want to or aren't ready to decenter men. Like no one, but it's a trend. It's like you're an idiot now if you don't. That's so funny to me. You're like, it's like it's like you know, when people go boycott certain things and then you still want to go to Target or whatever, it's like I'm still gonna fucking go to Target. Fuck this boycott shit. They got whatever it is that I like over there. So, and you don't tell your friends, right? I feel like women are going to start being like that with men, like for people who really don't mean it. You know, that disparity, that desperate feeling to be loved and accepted by the opposite sex because you were told that that's how you were going to be liked and loved and like held in high esteem, or you know, women want to feel that love and comfort and affection and that union, you know. And I'm not saying men don't either, but it's different. It's in a different vine for them. And if they're just only in their lower nature, then they don't even really care about that. So we're not talking to them really, or necessarily about them. Um, but yeah, women want to bond, right? And so how you bond with a man is by giving him what he wants. And a lot of times giving a man what he wants is trading out what you want, or not even really. You throw away what you want and you put on a mask, and you think this mask is real. You live in it so much, and everything you do and say you like and want is so that you can, they call it the male gaze, get men's attention. And in the patriarchy, women brag about like how much male attention that they can get. And from my perspective, I have never been flattered when I get male attention, because I always thought that the next woman that walks by is going to get the same attention. It's like who cares? When something is given out like to everybody, how is this special, right? And so then it gets broken down into class, into race, into all these levels of separation. And y'all expect that to work when reality, and y'all know in spirituality we're all one, and y'all expect all these different breakdowns and separations to actually like make you happy. All these things that say, well, you're not loved because you got a man but he don't got as much money as mine. You got a man but I bet you he don't look good like mine look good. Your man ugly and he's short. It's like the patriarchy basically has promised everyone that if you get love we can put, what's the hot new car? You see things, the bar always moves in the patriarchy. It was like, last year what car was it? What this year what car is it? It doesn't matter what you like. You're only going to be held in high esteem if you have this car or that car, this type of man, that type of woman. Like, okay. But in true spirituality, if you're really spiritual, then you, first of all, you practice experiencing God, communing with God, communicating with God, and you're in touch with who you are, and you feel into life. Like, how do these things make you feel? You may not even really want what the patriarchy has deemed as trendy. Like The Wiz, you got to be seeing green, and then 5 minutes later you got to be seeing gold, and then 20 minutes later you got to be seeing red. Like, girl, no ma'am. Anyway, right? And so I was making a point. You guys can understand what I'm trying to say, though. It's like and so getting rid of that brainwashing isn't pretty, because a lot of us have, I was actually thinking about this the other day. I was like remembering the time frame where I changed how I dressed for the male gaze. I think I was like 22. I'm a late bloomer. I didn't know how to play the game for a long time. Okay. I used to wear, like, my brothers had like shirts, like, because they had like cartoons on them. I would steal my little brother's shirts. My brothers are like 8 years younger than me, 10 years younger than. They had like the best shirts, and I just started buying them myself after I moved out of the house when I was 18. So I used to love wearing like little kid shirts with cartoon, like Dora the Explorer and all this, and that was really me. that was really me, and it wasn't sexy. I wasn't considered sexy to like the male gaze, right? I was in the process of signing a record deal, and they were trying to get me to change my image and to become more of what would sell. And so I remember when decided to not wear my Dora the Explorer anymore, and I put on this halter type half shirt thing, and all of a sudden the response I got was like, see, yeah, that's it right there. That's it right. That's that shit right there. That yeah, 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 yeah. And it just kind of like uh woke up this like, oh, I'm like, oh, it was like a oh, I don't know, it just kind of like opened up my eyes and changed my world, as to how to get what I want from men or whatever. But when I look back at that time and this in my life before that time, I was getting what I wanted from God anyway. Like I didn't necessarily need men. Like how I got to where I got to was from me following my intuition, my inner prompts, you know, like relationships with men came and went. Like it wasn't the center of my life. I couldn't relate to a lot of my girlfriends. I always felt like I was like missing out on the conversation somehow. I was never really invited to like the secrets, like the whisperings. I wanted to be. I didn't know how to be. And I found out what was missing is that I didn't have no man problems, or I didn't like center men. And I did have a soulmate growing up. His name is Leon Perry, and we met when we were like 8 years old. One second, someone's knocking at my door. And we went to church together, and I was a lead singer in the church and he was a drummer, and we were both very like sophisticated, really smart and mature children for our age. And our relationship was very peaceful. It wasn't any drama. I mean, there was a little drama, but it was like personal between us. We're like little adults. And I didn't start having sex until later, right? And so there wasn't any of that going on in my life. And then in high school, I didn't really date anyone. Like, I mean, I dated a lot actually, but I didn't have a boyfriend because it didn't happen naturally. And I didn't like any other boys in my high school. I felt like they were all immature and I wasn't attracted to them, so I've always like made decisions in my life when it comes to men and relationships based off of like what's actually going on, who I am at the time, who the people are that show up in my life. And I always want to know what the relationship is for. It's not always for love and for romance. And there have been times where I've gotten it wrong, where I was in someone's life for a season or a lesson, and not necessarily to become enmeshed with them. And I have made once made that mistake and becoming enmeshed with someone who we should not have. And it taught me really big karmic lessons, but I don't regret the lessons. I more regret just the being disobedient. Okay. Because spirit did tell me. So I have gone through that and I have experienced that. And I do understand what it's like to center men. And I also went through a phase where I really thought that falling in love and getting married was going to be like everything everyone have always said and told me and imagined, but it wasn't. And I learned that in my 20s. Like, I was in a 3-year relationship and I was miserable. I was bored. I was sad. I changed my life, and because to get closer and closer to be with this person, you know, and then 3 years later, I looked up at my life and I was like, where am I? Who am I? And what am I doing? And I couldn't be my full self in that relationship. He wasn't responsive or open to it. And when I did change and I started like following my soul again, it weakened the relationship and our bond. And the relationship came to an end, you know. And also, when I am unhappy, I eat, and then I gain weight, and he wasn't attracted to me anymore. That on top of that too. And so I've been through that. I've been through all of the things, and I like the season that everyone is moving into. My hope is that everyone gets their needs met and truly transitioning into centering themselves. It doesn't mean like no love, because love is all around you. That is the truth. You don't have to wait for love. Love is you. First of all, you are love. You need to learn how to feel your own love, which is what I talk about in my Patreon and the modalities that I offer, where the practices that for you to fill up your own cup in the section called You Are the Living workshop, meaning you are alive. You have the life force energy within you. You don't have to wait on money to feel prosperous. You don't have to wait on a relationship to take you to love or whatever, to transcend you into love. You can do that by communing and going within. And it's small, simple things. Like, God doesn't withhold love from us. We are the ones that go into this dark, ignorant space where our eyes are closed and we're like feeling around, and you're like, you're cold, you're cold. It's like at this point, it's willful blindness. And I know that it feels like God is punishing you whenever you something that it seems like it's like a toddler being told not to stick their hand in a socket. It's like, but I really want to touch it. And you throw a tantrum. If it's like that, the things that you're going after to get love or a dopamine hit or whatever, it's going to end up hurting you. It's going to end up hurting you. You know, it could even like transition you out of this realm. Being out of alignment with your life force energy isn't healthy for your nervous system, your mental health, none of it. And so why not stay in alignment with who you really are and form and come to you on your pedestal. Like, stay on your block. Don't let anything get you out of alignment and off your block. Everything will come to you. It's a promise from the divine. Seek ye first the kingdom of God, which is you, and all these things shall be added unto you as well. But a lot of the issue that the girlies and the guys have in the spiritual community is this is a point where there needs to be growth, you know, is that people will change and meditate and grow so that they can get you're still centering these things. And then after something doesn't happen, or you don't get what it is that you are trying to manifest as fast as you want, then you feel disenfranchised and you'll stop meditating and you'll stop doing all your spiritual practices. The key is that you actually have to enjoy it for the sake of doing it, because you enjoy connecting with God. That's actually spiritual maturity. And I know that for people that have been brainwashed into thinking that getting a certain amount of money and putting in a certain amount of hours in a career, and being around this certain group of people, talking a certain way, walking a certain way, wearing a certain thing. It's like an addiction to the material realm that needs to be broken. And that takes time. And a lot of y'all don't like the time that it will actually take for you to transmute the energy, and you give up. But you end up coming back because you are a being of love. You are God. You are a goddess. And you're not going to give up on yourself. You're not going to give up on the process. I'm just speaking on it, and I'm telling you, I understand because I've been there. Yeah. So I appreciate all of you guys for being here and joining me in this kind of provocative, polarizing type conversation. And wherever you're at in your process, you are supported, you are loved, and I'll talk to you guys soon. Peace.